It is always going to be challenging for the person who struggles in these three areas to hear God. One of the areas that he dealt with me with is gossip. And it wasn't about gossiping about other people. I was never the type of person to gossip and talk about people behind their back. God allowed me to understand that I was so immature that he couldn't even finish downloading revelation, wisdom, and insight to me because I would run and go tell somebody else what he said before he was done talking. And so if you struggle with gossip in the areas that you know are gossiping, but also the way that I just explained, you will have a problem hearing God. The second area that will prevent a person from hearing God is if you struggle with insinuating or assuming. When you insinuate something or you assume something, you allow your mind to come up with a scenario that has not even happened. When you insinuate or assume something, you create your own reality. And when you create your own reality, it is hard for God, it is hard for truth to invade that space. So if you struggle with insinuating or assuming because you've already come up with your own truth, that person will struggle to hear God. And the last reason that will cause a person to struggle to hear God is if that person is too opinionated. A lot of times your opinion is an educated guess. And most of the times a person who is extremely opinionated got their opinion from somebody else's opinion. And so if you're overly opinionated, how can God disrupt your opinion? If you struggle with gossiping, insinuating or assuming, or being overly opinionated, you will struggle to hear the voice of God, because God's voice, it rests in truth. It rests in certainty. Deal with yourself in these areas, because God says that my sheep shall know my voice, and a stranger they will not follow. Most of the times, those strange voices gossip too much, insinuate or assume too much, or they are overly opinionated. He is probably trying to speak to you, but because you gossip too much, you're overly opinionated, and you're always insinuating or assuming, he cannot invade those things. But that's why I created the relationship plug, because the Bible says that my sheep shall know my voice. And there's too many times that we question it. Is this God? Is this the enemy? Maybe this is just me. Type plug in the comments and be one of the first to join our community so we can help you learn how to discern the difference between God's voice and those other voices that lead you to the wrong place or get you off of track when you're trying to follow the voice of your Father.